Hello, my name is Guilherme and I help engineers to be high performing project managers. Today I want to discuss waterfall versus agile. Well, I've seen there's always a lot of discussions on framework. You are going to find people that use waterfall and they think agile is useless for them. There's a lot of people that use agile, then they're going to tell waterfall is dead, you cannot do that. Well, if you're thinking about how you should proceed, what you should do to be a high performing project manager, the first thing I'm going to tell you here, it's uh, you are paid to solve problems. This is exactly the same thing for everyone. Everyone. The company hires everyone, all employees, because the company wants this employee to solve a problem. So in your case, your problem is how to make sure that the value for the project is delivered. The company does not care if you use Agile or Waterfall. Companies, they do not care about frameworks. What they are looking for is the final results, the value in the end. Value is the ultimate indicator. Value is the ultimate goal for a project. Therefore, value is the ultimate goal for a project manager. So I see people looking very different ways, and they also look for reasons why they should not learn agile or reasons why they should not learn waterfall. Oh, the way I see it's the following. If you want to be a complete professional, you need to have a good overview about everything. Project management, of course. Overviewing everything, that will be very difficult to get. Like you're a project manager. You need to understand waterfall. Sorry. Sorry if you say I want to be a scrum master. Yes, but the Scrum Master, it's a framework. If you read the Scrum guide is written there. That's uh, an incomplete framework on purpose. And there are a lot of items when you talk about a Scrum guide. But again, I'm not against neither of them. Just make it clear, right? I also studied the Scrum guide. I also studied the PMBOK, and I continue to learn both. And I continue to try to improve myself in both. But the thing is, you need to order tools in different situations. Knowing different frameworks, it gives you flexibility because I can manage a project in different type of organizations. I can manage a project in different type of interest. I can make use of different frameworks. I can look for benefits of different frameworks to try to improve my work. If you say that you are just waterfall, then you can only work when it's a waterfall. And every project is unique. And what you should look for as a project manager is how I can deliver the value for the company. How can I solve a problem for the company? That's what's going to make you to grow in your career to progress. No one cares about waterfall or agile in the company. You can tell me I use Scrum. Yeah, but if you do not deliver value in the end, that's useless. You can tell me I'm using PMBOK here. I have all my documentation done. If the project does not deliver the value, that's useless. So it's important to understand waterfall and agile to see their different applications to learn with one of those items. When you, for example, if you look for Scrum, there's not much information how to create a budget, how to do a cost management. I can tell you if you want to grow in your organization, if you want to be a manager, if you want to be a director, well, you need to understand how to create a budget. You need to understand how to manage a budget. You need to understand how a business case works. So one side from another, those are not exclusive items saying that I'm a waterfall or I'm a Scrum or Agile. They should be inclusive. If you look more and more on the PMBOK 7 edition, the way it's written, the principles are created there. The principles on the PMBOK 7 edition, they work as a kind of umbrella that can fit any type of framework. PMBOK is moving into that direction. If you are going to take a PMP certification, there's a lot of Agile Scrum that you need to understand there. Why? Because Agile has its value. It's important to understand. And when you look for things like, it might help you to reduce the execution time for a project. It might help you to reduce the time to market for a product. So of course there's value. That's why so many companies are doing that. But also waterfall has its value because in some situations it's not so straightforward to use agile. Why? Because it's not so simple building incrementally. If you're going to build something that costs millions to change it, of course you're not going to do it incrementally because it's not easy to fix a mistake there. If you want to make a building, you cannot execute the entire foundation saying, but was my first increment. I need to improve something else here. Sorry, that might be that you need to break everything off. So in some situations, build incrementally, it's not so easy. And of course, the entire idea when you talk about increments is because of one weakness that you can have with waterfall. If you're trying to develop a completely new product, well, what happened is if you're trying to develop something completely new, then instead of understanding if you can use it, if it has an acceptance, then you build a small MVP, minimum value proposition, to try it and make sure that at least you can confirm, you can make a proof of concept before you invest more money. You're going to put a lot of effort on planning, executing, creating a manufacturing line. That does not work. So depending on what you're doing, that's very complicated to follow straightforward. Then if you have this entire idea that you can build incrementally, you can make a lot of trials. Some of them will fail, but then you invested a small amount of money, and some of them you succeed, and some then you're going to progress building up those products. That's the idea of having this done incrementally. Of course, this is we are talking about creating a new product, innovation. In some cases, to build a house, you don't need to build a house. You can plan a house because your requirements are clear. And of course, I'm not saying that to build a house you should not use an agile methodology because you can look in ways to implement agile in a way that bring value. Because something that's quite important today, it's you see a lot of people everywhere talking about agile is the future, agile is the future. And again, I'm not saying that's not the future, but I'm just saying that probably 85% of those people they have no idea what's agile, they don't know what's Scrum, they don't know what's Lean, and they even do not know what's waterfall. And they are just saying that agile is important. Why? Because right now it's a trend. It's like blockchain. It's talking about blockchain, artificial intelligence. A lot of people don't even understand what those things are, but they say it's important to have just because it's a fancy word. It's a trend, and it's kind of the same thing with agile. So what you need to look for, understand, keep in mind that you as a project manager, you are responsible for making sure that your project is delivering value. If in some situations you need to use waterfall because of the type of project, it's fine. If you can use Scrum building it incrementally, that's good. Perfect. If you sometimes you need to make a hybrid, perfect. You are here to solve a problem for your company. You're not hired to use waterfall. The company wants you to deliver the value. The company is not looking for someone that will follow waterfall. Someone, when you talk about Scrum, the most important thing it's Scrum. You are a Scrum master. Yeah, that's nice that you use a Scrum framework. That's important that you follow the ritus on Scrum, that you have the artifacts, that you have the roles. But those things, they are there because the company wants the value in the end. The company does not want you to execute sprints because they are nice and because it's nice to build something incrementally, because then you can empower your team. The companies are looking for the results. Then if you cannot bring results with Scrum, if you cannot bring results with Agile, if you do not can bring results whatever with our fault, does not matter. That's the point that a lot of people miss here. And when you talk about projects, you have a lot of variations of projects. You can have a lot of engineering projects, product development. Technically, you can have equipment for developing in healthcare. For some items, it can be much more challenging to use an incremental approach. Why? Because sometimes you don't have this option. That's why you need to use waterfall, because you need to invest a lot of time making sure that you have requirements, hopefully that you can get the first time right. So this is a discussion that does not make any sense to ask what's better, waterfall or agile. Every project is unique. It's important that you as a project manager that you have this understanding. You understand what's waterfall, you understand what's an agile, you understand what's scrum, how those things can work together in some situations, how those things can work very well separately, and in which situations they can work. And that's the value that you can bring, because in the end you need to look for what's the best way to deliver the value or the best way to solve the problem for the organization. It's not about what's the best framework. That does not exist. It's the kind of thing that you're going to see what's the best tool to build a house. Well, if you want to make a hole, you should use a drill. If you want, depending on the situation, it's better to use a hammer. If you want to nail, if you want to nail, uh, if if you want to nail something, yeah, use a hammer, not a drill. It's kind of the same thing, and people mistake those things. And it's not about trying to use all the fancy words, because people start talking about design thinking. Yeah, design thinking has its value. It's important. Agile has its value. It's important. Kanban, it has its value. It's important. But why you are doing a Kanban? You are doing a Kanban because you want to make it's transparent. You would like to visualize the flow, and you'd like your team members to have clarity which other one is working on. Or do you want to make a Kanban because it's nice? It's the trend right now. So you need to look for the value of the thing you're doing there. Because a lot of times the tool it's not the most relevant thing. I see a lot of people, also people discussing about the tool. You can use this tool. A tool is a tool. It's like for building a house. If you have the if you do not know how to use a tool, you are not going to build a house. And usually to build a house, you need several different tools. So the most important thing it's not knowing a lot of tools. You need to understand how to use them. Those are quite simple but important things. You see things like understanding, but when talking about understanding project management, it's that project management is about adding value. it really opens your world because I do not care. I look in lean manufacturing a lot. I look in lean management, lean Six Sigma, because there are some tools there that can help me to execute my project better and faster. Then I'm going to use it. That's why I study Scrum. That's why I study Kanban. That's why I study Waterfall. That's why I study finance. Because all things that I can find there that can help me to be a better professional, to solve problems and to deliver more value for the organization, I'm going to do it. And this is what's going to make you a high performing project manager. Because in the end, it's important that you deliver the value, but if you continue to learn, you continue to grow, you continue to look for ways to deliver more value. For you, it's important that if you want to earn, I don't know, $100,000 per year, you need to create $200,000 of value for your company, at least. I used to joke in some of those projects that just some of those actions that me and my team we were working on and we were able to achieve, we paid the salary for the entire team for a few years. And of course, everyone in the company was happy. Why? Because that's what the company wants. They pay you your salary so you can solve a problem, so you can create more. You need to create much more value for a company than the value of your salary. Why? Because higher the value that you create for a company, higher the salary that you can have. If the value that you can deliver for a company it's I don't know $50,000, the company will not pay you $100,000. But if you can manage a project and you can deliver the value for the project, when here I'm talking about value on finance, just show as an example, but those there's a lot of types of different value that you can see there. But if you can deliver a successful product there that will make millions for the company, and you can do it in a short on time, on the shortest period of time possible, that's what the company is looking for. And if you do it for a few projects, you paid your cost for the company, that the company could pay you your salary for the next 20 years. That's the idea. You are in the company to solve a problem, you're in the company to add value, and not about discussing what's the best framework. You need to understand you need to understand both frameworks again. Both frameworks have their value. You need to understand different tools because different situations will require different tools. I can tell you, Excel is pretty good to use for a business case, for example. But if you want to have a dashboard, wow, you might need to look for Power BI to have a better dashboards or better reporting. If you want to have a timeline for a construction project, maybe you need to look for MS Project instead of using Excel, or maybe use Primavera. Or if you are working with Scrum, maybe take a look at Jira, Trello, Asana. Those things help. But also, when you talk about tools, you are not going to find, if you don't have a process and if you don't have anything, a tool will not solve your problem. If you do not understand if you do not understand project management in general, if you do not understand the different frameworks and how to bring value for the company, you can buy a tool. The tool will not solve your problem because you are not going to be able to extract the value that the tool you need because you really do not understand how the tool it can be applied and how you can bring value for that. Again, exactly the same idea. If you are saying I want to have a business, I want to have know how to manage a business case, and then I'm going to buy Excel. If you do not understand how a business case work, you're not going to be able to use Excel properly. The same thing with then the same analogy you can make with MX Project, you can make with Jira, you can make with Asana, you can make with Trello, you can make with P6. Remember, the project manager is the ultimate responsible for the project, and the ultimate goal of any project is to deliver value. A company is hiring you because they want the value of the project. The company wants you to solve problems. That's what companies are looking for, and that's what's important there. And if you do not get that, yeah, I can tell you, you can have a PMP, you can have a PSM, a PSPO, or Lean Six Sigma or whatever. That will not add a lot of value. The diplomas and the certifications, the intention of having them is making sure that you are building your knowledge. Having the paper will not solve your problem. So keep in mind of that what companies that the same thing companies are looking for, what type of value that you can deliver, what type of problems that you can deliver, and if you can create value and solve problems in more higher level, if more you can help the upper levels of organization, more opportunities to grow you're going to have in your career, more usually financial returns you're going to have, and this is how it works. So I hope you like the content. Please let me know your point of view. Let me know what you think. You can leave a comment here. If you like the content, of course, clicking the button like, share with people that you think might be interesting on. Follow me on Instagram for more content. I share it on Instagram, free content every day, and I have a Q&A box open every day. And see you soon. Bye.